guys, how you doing? Cold day today, and I figured I'd start the day off with a little hammer just to warm up. It's not too bad in the shop. It's 33 in the shop, but it's like it was 13 when I first got up this morning, so it's cold. I'm gonna do another set of tongs today. I know I just did one, but the ones you typically see me do in the past are, like the last ones. I use a 1/2 inch rebar, round stock. Common stock that a lot of people have, and it's just I've been thinking over the last few days, what's it like to actually start with something that might be more logical than round stock. Of course, you can turn round stock into rectangular stock, and that's kind of my point. Maybe it'll be easier. I have trouble with the boss. It might be easier to get a decent boss out of rectangular stock. We're going to find out. That's what I'm doing today. So if I go back to my example tongs that were purchased, not made. Actually, there's a maker's mark on here. I'll be doggone. J and B, or T and B. Oh, I've never seen that before. Sun's hitting it just right. There's something. J or T and B. Oh, very cool. Anyway, I'm just thinking that it'll be easier to get that boss the way we want it to be, coming from rectangular stock than square stock, and we'll see what we got. So I'm starting with, I'm sorry, it's a long intro. I'm starting with a 1/2 inch by 1. I think that should be a good way to start. And what I'm going to do with this one, a couple of things. I'm going to try to do some cleaner forging, all right? Because there's a lot of other things going on in the social media world, and it's time for me to focus on that. How bad am I? Am I really that bad? I'm doing some research on that. But anyway, but also I'm going to go ahead and measure off what I want. We're going to make this something a little bit more under control than what I would typically do with, do it by eye, which I don't mind doing that in some cases. But anyway, that's your objective. We're going to just make some flat tongs out of rectangular stock and see if there's much of a difference for Chandler. Alright, a couple of things I'm going to do differently this time, looking at my example set. So again, I keep telling you, drop it, turn it, drop it, turn it, drop it. Okay? Like I just mentioned, I actually measured. Okay, so I went with 1.5 inches. I'm not sure what size tong that's going to give me, and that's alright, I'm experimenting. About 1 3/8 inches is what the boss size is on this set of tongs, so let's go with that. Typically I go in the inch range, but I'm guessing. So I put scores in so I can definitely know where I'm dropping this. We're going to do that, and then the other thing we're going to do, and I'll mention it when we do it, is if you take a look at the second drop. So the first, look at this tong right here. First drop, we go half down, right? And then we rotate it. But notice, and I've always known that this is something that needs to be done, and I always have issues with my joints, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at this. That second drop isn't straight on the anvil. It's actually, not a 45, but maybe a 30 or something like that. So I'm going to actually do that this time. Second drop, we're not going to go straight across the anvil. All right, let's get going. All right, let's go ahead with this first part down here. So there's my bottom score. We're just going to drop that down. Get at a bit of an angle just to get things set. Down half the thickness, but that's usually on my other stock. Let's heat her up again. I don't feel like today. That sucks. So as I look at this set of tongs, one thing as I'm dropping, that's what I'm doing right now, is this drop down here. Notice that boss is straight in line with the top of the tong. So I'm going to make sure I reproduce that. I'm not so focused on that tong or the boss right now that I'm going to go a little fun. Clean up our handle marks later. But I'm okay with that, I think. Looks all right. And again, I want that lined up with the top. And again, looking at my sample tongs, we just did this drop. All right, this drop here, and that, as I mentioned, the boss is lined up here. All right, now we're going to do our 90-degree turn, which we decided we're going to do at an angle. And I can go ahead actually, and I can put a little mark on my anvil at the angle that I want that. All right, so we're looking at kind of that angle. But what was my point? Well, my point was this. When I drop this drop here, notice that the side of this boss and that jaw, but mostly the boss, and this arm are right in line with each other. Okay, so this is straight from here back. Alright, so let's see what a difference that makes than my normal approach. Now, my normal approach has always been drop it, turn it, drop it straight. We're going to drop it at an angle now, just like that. And just pulled out the 4-pounder. I think I want to move some steel a little quicker. So we'll go with that mark that I put there. Alright, and that gives me that angle. Got sun in the way, so you might not be able to see. And what I was getting at before, though, is that on this, let's see this side. On this side, that boss now, or this length now, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you, Chandler, today? I swear to God. This edge is straight all the way back, so we got a little bit of a kink going in here. I'm going to go ahead and just draw this out a little bit more. My goodness. Man, I didn't get the best heat in the world. We got a little heat there. So again, my point is, we came over, we dropped at an angle. I can bring this same thickness back farther. Alright? So that everything's in line here. Just like that. Okay. Now we'll go ahead, again, half down, come across, but I wouldn't say 45, it's somewhere between 30 and 45 degrees, and then we'll rotate one more time and drop that boss back down. I bet you're going to have a better looking set of tongs on this one. Alrighty, let's go to that next step. We got everything the way we want it to be. So again, drop, rotate, and then there's my mark. I'm just going to go ahead and bring that boss down there now. I'm going to put this back in the fire. Again, I'm trying to focus on that boss because I haven't been able to figure it all out yet. So we look at this again. The jaw top is straight, and we're doing this step right now, and that step, when I drop it, I don't want to be bringing the boss down. I just want to bring the back down. So I don't want to be hitting out here. I want to hit right on this back side. For some reason my brain got confused when I was looking at that, so I just stopped and took a quick example. Look, so drop, turn, and we're going to not hammer out here, we're going to hammer right there. Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. I was wondering when that was going to happen. Freaking handle on my 3-pounder is breaking. That sucks. Look at that. Oh, first and original handling. Who the heck? How did that happen? Look. Oh, so sad, so sad. My 3-pounder's gone. It was fun. I was thinking today, maybe it would be a good day to try to make a 3-pound rounder. Shit, I have to make a handle for that now. That puts a wrinkle in things. Well, maybe we'll use John's 2.5 and deal with it. So anyway, I dropped this down. Now I know I'm doing something wrong here, so we'll get this figured out. Alright. First of all, I think that should be more of a square rather than a rectangle shape, but I'm liking it. Another thing I noticed is that we want this boss to come rounding up and this boss to come rounding down. Alright, we'll get some heat on there. Whew, man, I don't feel. Alright, it's bothering me a little that boss is so rectangular, and that's what I'm really trying to focus on. So I'm wondering, let's just go through what I did here. Alright, we can drop this thing a little bit more. I think I can do that. We should have come back a little farther there, but that's alright. Understanding that and learning that. Okay, fine. I think I didn't take, I think it was too much. Alright, so let me do this. We're here, everybody's happy. Oh my gosh. We are an inch. Well, that makes sense because we were supposed to not lose that. I did 1 3/8 inches as a mark. I'm going to turn around and do 1 inch so that that boss is more squared off. Just give myself a bit of a mark there somewhere. Find something to mark it with. So if we do 1 inch from there to there, gosh, it looks too. I measured the other one, but I didn't measure the height. So let me just put a little mark here. Don't jump too far, would you? Okay. And I'm just going to turn around. I'm going to reset that boss down. Hopefully I didn't mess up too much here. Let's see what we got. And again, I don't even care if this works. I'm trying to figure out this whole. That looks much better, don't you think? Much better indeed. Alright, I like that better. Let's clean it up a little bit. And I'm going to come down a little bit more. Like that. Don't look too bad. Alright, now I'm going to just take whatever it is off the anvil. Get this stuff all drawn out in the right size. I think what happened is that when I did this stroke, I actually stretched it in length too. So my mark that I had for the boss turned out to be in a spot farther down the rein. Which makes sense. Doesn't look too bad. I'm going to go ahead and just round this off. Yeah, or you could do it that way. Hammering both sides. And that looks much better than most of the bosses that I've made. I'm still going to pull a little bit more from these reins. Alright, let's draw this out a little bit farther. I don't think I need any more. I just need to draw this out. I guess I told you I wanted to warm up, so that 4 pounder should do the trick, huh? Alright, taper it in a little bit. Jeez Louise, I got Washington DC calling me. India is not calling me. Who's calling me from India? I don't know anybody from India, personally. Alright. Okay. I'm not happy with how clean this groove is in here. And I want half the thickness, so I'm going to come back and put a little more time on that one. Alright, let's see what we can do about cleaning up that jaw stuff. Alright, so I want a little bit more down on that, at the angle I chose before. I don't go too far because I'm going to mess up my reins and everything. Maybe I can just set it a little bit with that. That's not too bad. Clean that up a little. Doesn't look too bad right now. Alright, okay with that. Just soften it up while we got a little heat. We got much more to do there anyway, so good. And we're okay. I think we're okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do on this end, again, I already have these marked. But I marked this 1 1/3 inches. I'm going to wait and remark it. I'm not actually going to use this mark because I'll wait till I have this flattened. And then I'll know exactly where my size is and we'll pull that inch off of there. That's what we've learned. See if I find some snow to quench this in. My quench bucket, frozen solid at this temperature. Actually, before I let this thing cool down, I don't need this thick of a jaw, and I wouldn't mind it being a little wider. So I'm just going to pull this out a little. Since we have heat there. Anyway, alright, let's see what we get here. Probably no reason I can't draw it out from this side. Let's see if I go that way though. Better to me. That looks better to me. Make sure that we're square there. I'm happy with that. I'm not so happy with that. I don't like how this thing has a step here, so let's just take a peek. There is no step. It's totally clean. So what can we do to get rid of that? I don't know if you can see it, but this little step right here in the corner. So let me just review what I'm doing here. We got that. Now what we need to do is come over on this side and kind of drop it down somehow. Yeah, that's what we need to do. I think after this set of tongs, we'll go ahead on my Back to the Basics series and we'll walk through an exercise and see what some experts have to say. I can't help but think that there's a trick to get rid of that besides what I'm about to do. I just don't, unless we do it at the same angle on this side, a decent spot. It'd be cool to learn that for real. But it's gone now. She gone. She gone. So perhaps if I, oh, that was that, and then I dropped this at an angle. Yeah, I'm okay. She's practically gone anyway. A little sharper handle edge. She would have been gone for sure. We'll just see if we can clean up a little bit there too. Just to get it all out of there. It doesn't look too bad. Alright. Get everything back straightish. Straightish if we can-ish. Boss tip too much. Everything should be straight there. So I got rid of it, which I think was important. Most of it's gone. So that, you know, this 45, and then I flipped it around, same angle basically, and tried to cut that corner back off. I like that. Alright, now we'll get the other side started. Nothing like quenching in snow. Problem is, it's cold out. but there ain't much snow on the ground left anymore. Alright, so we're going to turn this around. I'm going to take you with me this time on the second sizing. I won't take you with me for the whole process, but just this is it. This is a boss, dealing with the boss, I guess is what we might call it in the video when we get done. Just want to see if I learned anything just by doing it once. Can I get through that process again with a little less? What did somebody say? Fuddling around. I don't know what it was, but we're gonna get it back to that. I think I just said something totally incoherent. Whoo, Chenna. Sorry about that. All right, let's see how it goes on round 2 here. So there's my mark. That part I know is a good mark. Where'd you go? I feel you, but I don't see you. There you are, right there. Can I help us out a little bit? Get this stuff out of the way. Back here. Finish drying that side. That's about the thickness I had before. Okay, let's heat her up. 4 pounders heavy. Alrighty, just clean this off a little bit. So you go here, rotate 90, and at this angle is what we said we're going to do. See that? Alright, and then we rotated back. We got rid of that little doohickey there, which I'm sure there's another way to do it. We'll learn. It's gone. That's all that matters. Alright, that's all that matters. For now, anyway. Heat things up a little. And clean that up on the next heat. So now, I'm just not happy with that hit right there. Alright. I think we're okay. So we did there, there, and now I'll measure my inch. Because I think I've got that boss. Oh, no, not yet. Let's go ahead and flatten her a little more. So this part's thicker on this side than it is on the other side, so we're just going to thin her down a little more. Everything back up. Swinging my 4 pounder like it's a 2 pounder. That's silly. And we're good thickness. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and measure our inch here, here, and now there. So that goes off the end. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. So we're gonna go, we did an inch before, let's do it again. You see now that I have it flattened though, we'll learn. I'm never gonna give up on this. So now we're at about 1.5 inches. I'll mark it there because I think it's kind of where we want it to be. Can you imagine? All it's gonna take is a few of these. Done right. You'll be able to whip these sound bitches off. No time. Getting closer every time. And I'll tell you, sometimes that fire, and right now it's going well, but I'm not getting the speed and the heat. I don't know what's going on with that. Sometimes it likes to do that, Jimmy. Alright, so we're gonna now, let's see, we did this, then we rotate, drop, then we rotate and drop. We're gonna keep that rule in our heads the same. On that mark, drop that sucker down. Hopefully, boy, that looks long to me. Damn, Jim. What does it take to get it right? That looks better. That looks better. In comparison, I hope. It really sucks. I'm having trouble with the length on this, but if we get somewhere closer than we were and understanding how to do this boss stuff, I'm okay with that for now. Just getting the depth that I want, and then we'll deal with the rest of it. Draw this back a little now. Alright, let's draw out a few inches of this stuff so that we can have something to weld to. One more time. Like I said, I just don't seem to be getting the color out of my fire. Weird. That's weird. But you need to hate shelling and move steel, so let's just be a little more patient. A little more heat this time. We're getting close. Which is a lot easier when it's hot, I'll tell you. It surely does. I think that should be enough to get me where I want to be. Alrighty, Aphrodite. 4 pounders getting choked up on a little bit, I tell you. Okay, we're not too bad. I'm not happy with my boss, but that's alright. A lot better than normal. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I really didn't clean it up. Let's heat that up. I gotta draw out that jaw in width anyway. I think we'll have these two made. I guess that's all right. Maybe it's just the sunlight that's fooling me. So again, we're going to clean this up. Hopefully that'll make it look a little better. Some width on that jaw. Do what we did last time. Get them about the right thickness anyway. Clean them up a little. Nothing wrong with that. A little wider than this one. Let's see what it all cuts down to. Alright, so I'm much more pleased with my work. Still got that little doohickey there I want to get rid of. Then with most of the tongs that I've made. So let's get this last piece cleaned up. The world's falling down. Alright. Now pleased with my work doesn't mean that it's right. It's just that I'm happier with it than I have been before. Stupid hammer swing right there, Chandler. Alright. I think I'm a little disappointed that this one turned out wider than this one. I don't know if I have the room to fix that or not, but it's alright. Our objective is the box. Alright, we'll let that cool down, and I think I'll just zip these off. And we'll just weld some reins on. I'm going to go ahead and drill rather than punch. I'm not doing anything except for Chandler wanted to work on the bosses. I'm happy, much more happy with the shape that I got. I don't like the length. I'm going to have to come back and figure out that math because that length is just not. When I could drop it again, I could come back here and make them look right. You want to do that? This one does, yeah, this one's definitely longer. Alright, fine. You perfectionist, you. The point is the boss. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's drop it a little bit more. Let's just steal a little bit from this. Compare that to this one down here. This one down here I like much better. So we're just going to steal a little bit if we can. Easy now, Chandler. Much better. Much better, Chandler. We're after perfect, but it don't have to be today. Sun glaring off the glass. I can't see it. There's my 3-pounder. Again, I like it a little more square, but that's good. That's where we're going to steam it. See, again, they just look better, you know? They just, and using that rectangular stock, I think, makes things easier. Nothing wrong with using round stock, but I think getting that rectangular shape is probably a good idea first. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and zip these guys off. I drew this one out a little farther than this one, so I'll zip it off and then I'll finish drawing that out. And we'll get the things drilled. We'll forge weld some reins on it, and then we'll get them put together. Alright, I just cut these off. Let's see what we did for size here. Alright, I mean it's pretty cool. We're definitely somehow we ended up with much more width on that one jaw, but the thickness is the same. So that's freaky as heck because I marked those. I took the same amount of steel. I thought I did anyway. And with these, well, we got to draw these out, but these are going to fit much better together, I think, when we get done here than most of mine do, which is nice. So, and the bosses are relatively the same size, all right? All right, so again, I'm just going to draw these ends out. Nothing major, just to get it down to the right size. Looks okay to me. We're probably going to want to scarf that for forge welding anyways. You might as well do that now. This one I need a little more length on. Too much, Jim. Alright, after day, the scarfy going on. Oh yeah, I knew I think this sun was too hot. I don't want to do sides, top and bottom, I think. So let's just put a scarf here. This one, if it ain't melting yet, perfect timing. She's about ready to go. She's gonna blow it. And scarfing that one a little bit. Freaking 4-pounder. I miss my 3-pounder. Alright, let's find some stock that we want to forge weld this piece. I was going to go to 3/8 so I didn't have to drop it. We're going to go ahead and do some 1/2 inch round. Hopefully that'll save me a little bit of hammering anyway from drawing out. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is just kind of square this end up. Uh-oh, I got to get my glasses on. Let's see the thing. To about the size that these handles were, and then throw a scarf on it. Pretty damn long scarf. Hopefully I'm not. I don't know if I've ever done this before. I don't think I have. Welded reins on a set of tongs. I don't think so. Let's hope I don't mess it up, eh? There's one. This is probably melting. Good job, Chandler. Still didn't put your glasses on. If that were high carbon, I wouldn't be using that end that melted. I'd say, yeah. We'll be alright. I'm gonna square it up. I think we'll be alright. About the right size. Start that sucker down. John saying, why aren't you using the 2.5 pounder? Sitting right there. Boy, those some big ass scarps going on there. We'll be alright though, I bet you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean those up for welding and we'll come back and weld them up. Alright, we got them cleaned up. We're going to use this little 2-pounder. Actually, I'm going to use my other one. That's what I'm used to using. I'm not going to do anything there. We got to go ahead and run through a quick little. This one I think I can handle by hand. And we're going to come out and put that sucker down like that. Actually, I'd rather it be down like that. So we want to make sure that we come out like this. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Set it down. Don't roll on me, please. You gonna roll or not? That's gonna hurt. Alright, I'm glad we did a test run on this. Is this the one I gotta hold on to then? Set this one down. Bring this one over. Like this. Line it up and tack it. Oh boy, Jimmy. Alright, I guess we can try to do it that way. I really want to be able to hold on to one piece by hand, but I don't think I can. But we'll go with that. That's the plan stain. Alright, we're trying to bring both pieces up to temperature at the same time. This is weird. I don't know if I've ever done this before. Where is it? Oh my god, we don't have time, Shannon. Oh, I gotta get it crooked. Oh, we gotta go back. Dummy, dummy, dummy. You should have had everything lined up. So what happened was I had my round stock in and I didn't know which end was up. And that totally ruined the whole plan. I did throw a little bit of flux on there. My round stock's too hot to hold. The freaking other one's too hot to hold. So up and up. Now we got both pieces up. That was silly of Chandler. Alright, you put a little bit of flux on them. Trying to bring them both up to temperature at the same time. And we got to get them on the anvil and at least hit once pretty quickly. This is kind of awkward for me. I don't think I've done this type of forge welding before. Let's hope that we're okay. Stick a little on your own. Come on, come on, come on. We don't have time for this. No, not enough heat. Just didn't happen. Not even a stick. It turned out to be a bit awkward for me because nothing wants to stay where I want it to stay. Alright. We got her on that one. This is like the second try of it. First two I just couldn't get it lined up in time. So it looks like we got a stick out of it anyway. Let's go ahead and clean it the best we can, flux it up, and see if we can get a real weld on this thing now. Hey, Master Chief. That was fun. Now we're ready for the second one. Ain't too bad at all. We'll do a third one though. I got one piece there I'm not happy with. Where's the weld? Right there. Here we go. Hopefully for the last time. Ain't too snabby. Just trying to get the thickness down to a ½ inch round again. Alright. I don't know, I see a little bit here. I don't know if it's just bad scarfing. I think we got enough stick on that. Alright, I'll eat the other one now. Wanna watch? Okay. Alright, we're getting close, and again, this is the awkward one where we gotta try to bring everything together. All I need is a stick, okay? Nothing more. Come on now, you can do it. You can do it. Stick together, stick together, stick together. Come on, line up, line up. Come on, I'm almost out of time. 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Holy Christ. I hope that's more than just flux sticking that together. Let's get it back in the fire. Get it back in the fire. Oh, sugar cheese. Let's hope that was more than just flux sticking together. Alright, here we go again. Let's hope we're all happy, happy, happy. Alright, we'll go one more time just to make sure. Looks good so far. And hopefully this is the final part of this weld. Hopefully she'll stay together. Alright. We got a little bit up here I don't like too much, but hopefully that's just a little bit. Okay, so what I'll do now is these two are not the same length as far as, maybe they ain't so bad anyway. Never mind, they are the same length. So what do I want to do here, Chandler? I'd like to taper them a little bit. They're not that supposed to be that heavy of a tong. They look good. They look good, look good, look good, look good, look good. I think they look good. I don't know for sure, though. Want to be way out there is where they want to be. They want to be way out there. So anyway, I'm going to turn it around. We'll throw a little taper on the end of the handles. It'll be fine. The reins, and we'll be done with them. Alright, so I ended up cutting off about, I don't know, about 4 inches off these of those because we don't need that much. I don't like longer tongs. So just put a bit of a taper in. And I missed my 3-pounder. I do. We'll fly out of there, I knew you would. To a point, just a bit of a taper though. Round it back off. Ain't nothing wrong with that, I tell you. Come back and clean her up. Let me suck her up a little bit. And just clean up some of our hammer marks. Actually, I wasn't going to show you all of this process. See, yeah, I don't know where that is. I'm just going to show you the boss part, so I might actually cut some of this out. Forge welding, I'm sure you want to see. We got to do some testing though. I don't like the way that one spot looks, but we'll get the rein sides, we get them straight-ish. Get them so that they line up with the jaw better. Actually, they're not. Yeah, this is a bit off right here. Alright, get the other one done, I'll be back. Alright, so there you go. A couple of tongs made from rectangular stock, flat stock first. I think it was much easier in that process. First time I forged welded reins on, that's cool. I'm going to let these cool down. I'll clean up the reins a little bit, and then we're going to come back and talk about finishing that boss. That's really the whole point of this video, riveting that up, because there's something interesting going on, and I don't know why. Alright, I put a little time on the power file, aka the grinder, just to clean up the reins, soften them a little bit, because I kind of got away from my good clean work exercise in this one. And I already said I'm very pleased with how this all worked. Very pleased with the intelligence of putting this part of the jaw. The sun's in my light now at an angle. I think it all makes sense. They look good. They look like they're going to work fine. The problem that I have now is this. All right, that's how far apart they are. Now I can adjust that, but I mean, normally I don't even worry about it. It's like, hey, if they're even close, then I pound them together. But I got to kind of rotate a lot of things. Something I think now, once you learn one thing, you realize there was 1,000 things you didn't know. So, I mean, I want that jaw in line with this rein, but I also want this to be able to do, regular square stock. So, but those bosses aren't too big. I don't think they're too big. I really don't. And my angles, they're clean. As far as, being able to rotate those, I don't know. I have to think about what I'm going to do now. Alright, here's what Shannon just realized. Alright, if you take a look, can you see, is this light just too frigged up now? I can't see what you can, you can see good enough. Well enough. This is my sample tongs. You see the angle from the step out of the jaw? It is in front of the boss, which should make sense. We did that one first, and then we did the rotate. Somehow in my screw-ups, if you look at this, there's where my angle starts. I'm a ½ an inch off. So I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong here. I think if I had stepped normally, like a normal, oops, sorry guys. If I had done my normal thing straight, right? And then rotate. That would have made sure that this jaw was in front of the boss, and then come back and step from there at an angle. Or I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe it. We just need, no, I did it right. You definitely want to come across at the angle, right? That's important. But it's got to, you got to make sure that right, we already had this front of the boss. There's the front of the boss. You need to make sure that the front of the boss is behind the edge of that anvil, all right? So that anvil, you understand what I mean. Make sure the front of your boss is behind the edge of that anvil, so when you step that down, instead of having the boss and this little doohickey's hanging out here, you got your boss, and then the step is like that. So this one I just cleaned up on the grinder. Lesson learned. When we get done, I think that's going to let me slide these guys, yeah, already close together. All right, very interesting. That's one thing, a little in the boss exercise. This step has to be, everything here in the jaw has to be in front of that boss. So again, step it down half, come across, do the angle thing, but make sure that that boss is behind the angle. It takes care of that problem. Let me finish modifying this one. Alright, now with those both modified so that they start, the jaw stops before the boss shows up. That's huge. Now I can go ahead and put them right like that. That's definitely better. Okay? So I can get much closer together. This I can adjust with my heats. I'm okay with that. And our alignments we can adjust. Yep, I'm happy. Alright, I'm going to, again, this is just exercise in forming this angle. That's the one thing I'll do all the time now, and it probably, if you look at anybody that knows what they're doing and look at their videos, that would have probably told you that. And then make sure that that is in front of that boss. End of conversation. Measurements, all right, critical. You want them to be the same. And I still have some work to do there because once I stretch this, everything changes. But I'm very pleased. I mean, I'm very, very pleased with the way these look at this point. All right, they're still a little far apart here, but we'll figure that out. But I'm going to drill. I'm not going to go through the punching process, and we'll get, and actually I'm going to drill and countersink. I'm going to try doing a rivet with a countersink, which you can do with a punch. You punch it, then you put a little larger. I have a countersink punch that I use, dimple in there, and see if we can get that rivet to be something flat and not protruding. That's the change we'll do. Let me drill these out. I'll be back. All right, here we are, guys. I got the. Of course, not the one I say. I got the holes drilled, and I took I think like a 1/2 inch bit and countersunk. All right, just to kind of give it a different look. I'll go ahead and throw this rivet in there. Again, riveting is something I'm not great at. Hopefully, I guesstimated the right amount of material to fill that. It seems a little short, but we're gonna find out. Alrighty, guys, what do you think? Is Chandler gonna finally get a proud riveting moment? Just got this standoff here, so my rivet goes through. I think that's enough. Other than that, I got my rivet header part here. That'll work as a plan B. I got my rivet heated. Get it so I can drop it through what I want to drop it through. We're gonna come from. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Get her down in there. Oh, that's where you mess it up, Chandler. Then your rivet gets cold, the world falls apart, you go home crying. Sad, sad, sad. Get down there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's a little colder than I wanted to be. That's okay. Now we can go flat. And nope, I didn't have enough to fill my hole, but that's okay. We're learning. This side looks good. That's almost professional. This side, Chandler, you're a dumbass. Hopefully we're not too loose. Hopefully that is enough to at least do something here. Gosh. I really wish that would have filled that hole a little better. But hey, we're learning. It doesn't look like too bad of a set of tongs, I'll tell you right now. for practicing. All right, heat that up, get that rivet, get the rivet set properly, and then set those jaws, and that's it. Alrighty, get out of there. So we'll go ahead and just work these a little bit. Just like that. Boy, that's nice, that's nice. Alright, I'm gonna find some snow and cool them down. Actually, no, we'll be alright. We don't have to quench those yet. We don't have to tighten them anyway. So what I want to do now is I'm going to drop those with these guys heated. I can tell you what the problem is. If I want these jaws to be flat when these things are closed, then you can only take half the boss, right? And that's what I started doing, right? I dropped it to half, but then remember I flattened these out. I drew them out. So if I'm sure this is the formula, but if you want these jaws tight without any crazy modifications like I'm about to do, then they need to be half because you're going to be overlapping. All right, it's a minor little boo-boo because I can work around them, but let me get those set. I kind of want the rivet to be cooler. I'm going to just heat those jaws the best I can, not that rivet. I don't want to mess around with it. We got a lot of movement to do before I'm happy with this. A good example here, I mean, they're very similar to the proportions that I have, and I didn't make these. It's more than half, and when these things are lined up where they want to be, you're going to end up with that spacing. So that's important if you're trying to make a 1-inch jaw. You're probably going to want a deeper header. It is a science, but it's not extremely difficult to at least get started with them. Alright, let's see what we can do about fine-tuning this stuff. That's about the hole that I want. I'm just going to bring this down, and I'll bring this one down. I don't like that. It tells you for sure the dude didn't know what he was doing, because now you got these duckbill kind of looking contraptions going on, but that's okay. I can deal with it. I can deal with it, I believe. Alright, they don't look too horrible, I'm telling you. I don't think they look too horrible. I don't think so. They seem to work pretty well. I wouldn't sell them, that's for sure. But I'd give them away. I might just give them away to somebody I like. Seems like we're a little crooked here. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, a little crooked for me. Alright, got them adjusted the way I want them. Just kind of line them up. I'll clean up those jaws so that they look like they're meant for each other. I'm just going to set this rivet a little tighter since I've been messing with it. Almost filled that hole up. I'm gonna just heat them up one more time. I got the right spacing I want there. These guys are just about in line with the way I want them. I'm only off. They look totally different, but I'm only off a little bit there. Alright, so we'll just get this rivet heated one more time. We'll be done with it. Clean it up, and I'll come back and say goodbye. Lessons learned. Alright, we got that. Actually, I'm going to try something else. Let's try. Probably going to mess everything up that I just did. I found some stamps I might want to use. Let me heat that jaw again. A little pure. He'd probably be the top jaw there since it's the duckbill part of it. Keep goofing around, Chandler, till you mess it all up. But I got, I don't know, a set of stamps at an auction. It's not complete, but we'll go ahead and see if we can just put an OSF on there just for fun. I need to get a touch mark. I do have my blade knife, or the blades on my knives, but I don't really have a touch marker that I use. So we're gonna go O right there, and then an S right there. Oh yeah. And then an F right there. Actually, this isn't a bad one, except you gotta do 3. Dang straight, Senator. He's gonna figure this stuff out someday, I bet you. Get these jaws adjusted back down to where I want them. Nice and pinchy. I like them. All right, and we're clean here. Yep, good. Let me clean it up. And there you have it. Probably the best set of tongs I've made. Getting much better. That's the whole focus on the boss. It didn't need to be elongated. Should have been more square. I like this inset rivet. I like that a lot, actually. But I just didn't have enough material in there. I did just set it to tighten it up. So these guys should loosen up a little bit with a little bit of work. But a little old school forge there. And hey, you know what? I'm not disappointed. I'm not there yet. By no means am I there yet, but I'm not disappointed at all, for sure. All right. So, you know, actually, I don't know if I want to set these for. I might want to set these. I could probably do it as mild steel. I want to set these for something other than 0. Oh, so. No, I'm gonna have to heat them up again. Damn it. And there you have them, guys. The best ones yet, getting closer. Again, our focus was on the boss today, and we did a lot there, and we're getting ready. I'm ready now, I think, to go ahead and let's find somebody that has an instruction on this in a book somewhere, and we'll do that in the Back to the Basics pretty soon. Find out all the things I've been doing wrong, but again, sometimes you just have to do it. And I don't know, what is this, the 5th or 6th tong that I've made. Size it up for about 1/8 inch stock, or it'd be good for a knife blade or something like that. I'm very, very pleased with it. Faux show. And there it is. One more try of tongs. Getting better. Keep working at it. You certainly keep. If I can get better, you can get better. Because I'm just a monkey with a hammer. That looks cool, doesn't it? Yeah. Thanks for your support, and thanks for coming along with it for another tong video. Hopefully we won't have to do many more, or maybe we'll do 1,000 more. You never know. But I love the keys for today is that angle that we forged in. The biggest mistake today was to make sure that is all entirely in front of the boss. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get these guys together. And then this is something we still need to work on, all right? So I like these thinner tongs. I don't like heavy tongs. I don't deal with a lot of heavy stuff. But getting, this duckbill part, I don't particularly like it. Maybe it's okay. But I do like the heavy bosses. I like the heavy rivets in there. So I'm quite pleased with it. Forged welded reins. Yippee yippee I-O. Let's see if I can get a money shot with old school forge going in the right direction. Like that. Here we go. I wouldn't sell them yet, but I'll give them away someday. If you found this video helpful, educational, maybe even if you just found it entertaining, and you want to support me, you can jump back to my channel. There's a button on the right hand side of the screen called support, and it's kind of like a tip jar. You can go ahead and leave a tip for this video, and that'll help me make some more, I guarantee. Thanks for your support, as always.